Hey kids, welcome to the garage. SELACO's here. Have you been following this? Are you prepared? I guarantee you're not. The latest release from Altered Orbit Studios, running on a heavily modified version of the GZ Doom engine. SELACO is, for better or for worse, a new high water mark for retro first-person shooters. I say for better and for worse in the sense that for better because look at the scope, look at the richness, look at the detail, look at the care and love that has been put into this game. SELACO, from the jump, is an incredible example of what can happen when you allow developers the time and grant them the resources to create and craft a game that they are passionate about. Not rushing it out the door to make a few bucks, but to give them the space, the time, and the resources. SELACO, first and foremost, is a love letter to first-person shooters of many different kinds. There are many different inspirations for this game, including Fear, as well as Half-Life, as well as Doom, and it really takes everything great about its own inspirations and elevates itself to create a wholly unique, detailed, and memorable experience. But I also say for worse, because it's going to be incredibly difficult moving forward to look at this game and then look at other games coming out. And I think detractors will be invariably and unfairly comparing other games to SELACO. SELACO is such a unique and individual experience and example of gaming and development that there isn't going to be anything that matches up to it for a very long time, I feel. And I don't think anything should try to. I don't think we should see any AAA games attempt to match up to this. I don't think we should see any other indie developers attempt to match up to this because there is such time sunk into the development of this game. 5 years plus. I know at least 5 years. I don't have exact numbers for the development that we have seen up until this point. But SELACO is creating a new benchmark. It just game of the year off the bat from the jump. Excuse me. Now, so to give you the highlights, the story for the game is you are Dawn, or your character's name is Dawn Collins. She is a soldier on board a space station called SELACO, which is the last haven for humanity after the fall of Earth sometime prior to this. Now, we don't get too many more details about the history yet. A lot of it is show, don't tell, and a lot of it is implications, and there's some very brilliant storytelling going on here in the background. But the main drive of the game is that SELACO is experiencing an alien invasion, and you, waking up in the hospital, no idea what's going on. You need to grab your gun, get to work, defend the station, and find out what exactly is happening around here. But the thing with this story, which is so very elegantly put together, is that there's many layers to it. There's many layers, and a lot of these layers have nothing to do with the alien invasion. I think there's a lot going on with the inner workings of the politics of SELACO to the point that I'm not even sure that we are playing. I don't even know who Dawn is. I don't even know if we know that Dawn is who she says she is, who she presents herself to us as. But that's one of the beautiful, ambiguous aspects of this game that presents itself to us, and that's just in the story. And the story is very cleverly told to us in data logs that we can store in our PDA, very much like Doom 3, and we can go back and read it anytime if we feel like we've missed any details, but also simultaneously feel free to ignore the story. You don't have to understand the story in order to understand the incredible combat and encounters that you're going to find here in this game. Now, the reason for that is because the gameplay, the weapon systems, the artificial intelligence of the enemies are dialed in down to goddamn near perfection. You will be flanked, you will be hunted, you will be outmaneuvered by these enemies. They are so goddamn tuned in, and it really threw me. I had to think really hard while playing this game. I had to think so hard, and there were times when I could like muscle my way through a combat encounter, and there were times when I got by this through the skin of my teeth by ducking and hiding and taking cover and constantly maneuvering myself like out of the line of fire. These enemies are going to slowly but surely become more and more difficult throughout the game, but not in a just plain difficulty style. There are what's known as oh no, I'm gonna forget the name of it, incursion tiers, where like it starts off, it's just, hey, there's guys coming through, and then it moves up a tier. Oh, now they've got grenades, it moves up a tier. Oh, now they've got drones, it moves up a tier. Now they've got mobile shields, etc., etc. The game will let you know when there's a new incursion tier and what level of difficulty you're going to be facing. They get upgrades throughout the game. They get squad leaders throughout the game, and you have to adapt to everything that's happening as the game becomes more and more complex, slowly but surely over the course of the like fucking 10 hours. I played it for 10 hours. You could easily sink in like 12 to 14 hours, and that's just this early access content. This is chapter 1 of 3 being proposed for the game. It was chapter 1 here. Chapter 2 is currently being worked on, and then according to the end credits of the game, chapter 3 will be coming sometime after it leaves early access. So there's a lot. There is a lot. You know, the amount of content that we're getting here could very well be a 1.0 release for any other game. And noting that, I am floored at just how much I experienced and was able to play with, but also missed simultaneously. There's a lot of secrets. There's a lot of secrets, and there's a lot of value to finding those secrets. And one of the examples for that is that there is a security clearance system. Find security cards. You get then access to different doors that are blocked by that security clearance. But as you find more security cards, your clearance is upgraded. So by the end of the game, you can get up to level 6 security clearance and open up these doors. But if you're missing cards along the way, you might not be able to open those final doors near the end game. There is an excellent weapon upgrade system in place where you collect weapon parts throughout the course of the game, which you can then use in various safe rooms to upgrade your weapons, depending on your level of technical proficiency and how many weapon parts that you have, and also the guns that you have in your possession. There are they're called weapon modifiers. They basically allow your weapons to operate in different methods. So for example, pretty much all of them, if you right click, you'll aim down the sights. So if you get a weapon modifier, that right click is now then replaced with a different mode of combat. So for example, their pistol, the Roaring Cricket, if you get the weapon modifier I found was like a double tap. So I press the right click and I fire 2 rapid fire shots. Later on in the game, I found a weapon modifier for the assault rifle, which is basically an underbarrel grenade launcher. So I would right click to switch to the grenade launcher, and then I could fire grenades. I just needed to have hand grenades within my inventory. And so it's stuff like that where there's a lot of versatility to the game, and there's a lot of rewards for going through these secrets and finding them in order to upgrade and fine-tune your weaponry to your own playstyle. And I believe that the weapon modifiers can actually carry over to new campaigns as well. So if you start over, you can start with those weapon modifiers. I'm kind of coming out of chapter 1 right now, a little delirious with a lot of adrenaline in me. So I'm like, I don't remember anything. I just fought a bunch of shit. Ah, my mouth hurts. I am very fortunate that I've had the last few days off. I had a oral surgery earlier this week, so I've just been playing SELACO with my face in a lot of pain, and it's been glorious. It has been great. There is so much tension in this game. Every single combat encounter is cat and mouse life or death. Duck behind cover, but don't stay there for too long because you will be flanked from either side by these enemies coming down at you. They will get their upgrades and they will make themselves more difficult for you to fight, so you can't just sit there and pray and spray and muscle your way through. I mean, sometimes you can, if you're lucky. I did occasionally, but trying to muscle your way through can result in death after death after death after death. And let me tell you, you better be prepared to get murked a lot in this game, and that's going to be okay. Getting absolutely fried and having your ass handed to you is a part of the experience, and it's a very welcome experience here in this game because it is kind of a learning experience. It is a lesson every single time, and every time you restart these encounters, you know, unless there is a specific point at which enemies are coming out to then you go searching for you, they'll wind and maneuver their way around these environments very organically. You can't count on them always being in the same place every time. So if you die and you reload your save and you're like, well, I remember this guy came around the left side of this pillar, you know, random example, you're not guaranteed that he's going to come around the left side of the pillar every single time. He might swerve off to the right. He might hang back. He might go all the way around and come at you from a completely different angle. The AI in this game is vicious and mean, and I enjoyed every single encounter. This is some of the most satisfying combat. You know, you get through something by the skin of your teeth, and you are absolutely just sweating, and you're hunched over, and you're exhausted. You save your game, and you go into the next area, and then next thing you know, there's a whole nother, there's more coming. Is it gonna be drones? Is it gonna be riflemen? Is it gonna be the fucking juggernauts with their goddamn Gatling guns? And oh my god, the juggernauts! Oh my god, they are. Oh, there's just a lot here. There is a lot, and I feel very fortunate to have played this game in this state. I feel very. Ahead of the curve isn't even the right way of putting it. I just feel very grateful that I have had this experience, and now when the game launches, you know, today the game's out right now. So as of this video going live, the game is out. Go get it right now. I'm gonna sit back and watch, and I'm gonna, you know, read people's posts about certain areas of the game. And there is one area in the game that the devs were very clear on with this review embargo here, that they asked explicitly, please don't share any footage of this one specific area in the game. No clips, no screenshots. Don't show any of this right here. And so to go through that and to experience that, this brilliant exercise in the game, to know that I get to organically watch people react to that as the game goes live, that's fantastic. This is the social event of the fucking season, kids. We're gonna be talking about this. We're gonna be sharing clips from this. You know what I really love? I love the difficulty, and I love the way that there's going to be a lot of tuning. There's going to be a lot of fine tuning. People are going to be able to really just dial in how difficult they want this game to be. You can make it a story. You can just experience the story, minimal to no combat, but then there's also a super high level difficulty called SELACO Must Fall, and boy, oh boy, I can't even imagine. I played on Commander, because when I played the demo a couple years back, I got my ass handed to me, and so I knew I'm going to get my ass handed to me a lot in this game, so I'm going to go in as best as I can, understanding that this is a difficult game, and I'm going to set the difficulty accordingly. Kids, I highly recommend, especially for those of you who are, you know, big, like, it's got to be challenging, got to get good or go home. I highly recommend check your ego at the door. I do not doubt that many of you will get through this game on super high difficulties, but I have to recommend check your ego at the door with this game. It will fuck you over a lot, and if you're not careful, you could end up being highly frustrated by that. And that's not a discouragement or disparagement against the game. This is an intentionally difficult, intense experience, and the depth of detail that's gone into graphics, which, like, I should have mentioned the graphics by now, but you're looking at all of this. This is beautiful. This is GZ Doom. The lighting, the detail, the interactivity. You can pick things up, throw them, eat food, to regain health. There is so much here that there has been clear passion that has been put on display. There is so much care, and there is so much detail. SELACO is a very, very, very important game experience, and I feel like there's a sense of target confusion. You know, there's things that I want to talk about that I don't want to talk about because I don't want to ruin any gameplay experience that any of you kids might have with this. I feel very strongly about SELACO as an experience to go in as blind as possible, to experience this, to see this, to feel this, to be immersed in it, and to come out on the other side just like sweating, in need of some protein, because this is an exceptional workout. And oh God, I don't remember if I said this already, but I feel like SELACO is the Fury Road of retro indie shooters. It starts off moving, it continues to move, and it stays moving the entire time, all the way to the thrilling, vicious end. It's exceptional. Exceptional! I'm floored. I thought I would at least enjoy it. I hoped that it would live up to the hype. I hoped that it would at least be good enough to deserve the hype. It excels. It mounts the hype and leaps over it in like a single fucking bound with all the confidence and clarity of a professional athlete. This is gorgeous. This plays incredibly well. It is so smooth, and I felt like I was mostly in control. I mean, like, I panicked a lot, and that was on me. I don't think it's the fault of the game or the controls, but I panicked a lot because I kept turning corners and like trying to run away from things, and I'm like running blindly into other enemies. But this is a game that we're going to be seeing streaming, we're going to be seeing gameplay clips, and I will be very surprised to see any major criticism of this game, even in the state that it's in. And when I say even in the state that it's in, I mean, this is one of the most polished early access games that I have ever seen. This could be launched right now. Done. Over with. But they're taking their time, and they're being very intentional about it. I think I ran into one bug in the entire game, and that was very close to the end, and I'm going to get in contact with the devs and just let them know about it. But it was so very minor that it didn't impact my game in the slightest. SELACO, I don't know how much the game is right now. I have no idea how much it's going to be. Maybe 20, 25, I don't know. No matter whatever the price of the game is, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. And I'm just rambling at this point. Anyways, kids, okay. What a game. What a fucking game. I know that the devs have already mentioned that they're looking forward to seeing people mod the game, making new maps for the game. They're looking forward to seeing people go crazy with the map maker and everything. And I think this is, you know, when we look back on the history of first-person shooters, Wolfenstein, Doom, Duke Nukem, Quake, Half-Life, Halo, Dusk, and now here we are, SELACO. Like, this is an immediate classic, and immediate type of game in the first-person shooter genre where there will be imitators. That is another thing, I think, with the for better or for worse, but there will be imitators of SELACO, and we will see a lot of people going for this type of game and trying to make their own type of game here. But this is such a perfect blending of different flavors and inspirations, and dialed into such a point that I don't think that we're gonna see anything that rivals this nearly as well as this original game. We had Doom clones, we had Half-Likes, and now we're going to see SELACO clones? Oh god, I really hope nobody quotes me on that. SELACO clones. Yeah, that's terrible. Anyways, it is out now. Thank you so much, Altered Orbit, for giving me a review code to review this game. I'm floored, I'm stunned, and I'm invested in wherever this goes. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. I haven't had this incredible a time playing a first-person shooter in a hot minute. So, kids, thank you for watching. Go play this game. Go fucking play this game right now. And I'm about to get into another game that I'm getting a review code for. I'm almost done with my history of FPS entry on Duke Nukem 3D, as well as my Phantom Fury video, which that's gonna be a fun one. But thank you all so much for watching. Sit up straight, eat your vegetables, and stay hydrated. Stay safe out there. See you next time.